Hello, my name is Jesse Calder, and this summer I worked as a sustainability fellow at Food Bank of the Rockies in Denver. While working for Food Bank of the Rockies, I spent a lot of time reviewing sustainability projects that the company recently implemented, specifically at their Western Slope facility in Grand Junction. I also reviewed waste streams at their Denver facility and proposed some new ideas, among other things. Like many businesses, I think a large motivation behind Food Bank of the Rockies' push for sustainability is cost savings. However, these savings have even more of an impact for the food bank. According to Feeding America, which is a network of food banks across the country, including Food Bank of the Rockies, $1 can provide 10 meals for those in need. So anywhere that they can lower costs and find savings, no matter how big or how small, is something that they would like to capitalize on. As I mentioned, a lot of my attention was focused on projects at their Western Slope facility in Grand Junction. They recently installed a solar panel array on the roof of their new warehouse there, and they wanted me to investigate this installation to help them get a better understanding of the system. I looked into how much power the solar array should be producing, compared the production numbers from the solar panels to the amount of power they purchased from their utility company, Grand Valley Power, and helped generate a proposal for a larger solar installation. I also produced a user guide for a new set of refrigeration controls they had installed in their Western Slope warehouse called KE2 thermal controls. These controls link the refrigeration systems to help make defrost cycles and general refrigeration operations more efficient. Additionally, I investigated transitioning some of the company's fleet vehicles to hybrid options and performed a waste history analysis for waste streams in their Denver facility. First, I'll start with my solar projects. Food Bank of the Rockies has a 100 kilowatt solar installation on their warehouse in Grand Junction, and I found that on average, a 100 kilowatt system should produce roughly 12,390 kilowatt hours each month. When comparing this to our panels, we produced within a reasonable margin of this average when all equipment was functioning properly, with the highest month of production reaching over 15,000 kilowatt hours in May. Looking at the savings from Food Bank's current 100 kilowatt system, it will produce a projected total of 156,633 kilowatt hours in a full year of operation, which would prevent a total of 244,720 pounds of CO2 from entering the atmosphere. Then I looked at the share of energy we were getting from each of these solar panels compared to energy purchased from Grand Valley Power, the utility company in Grand Junction. The average percentage of the total energy produced by our solar array came to 16.61%, with the peak share reaching 21.86% in May. This wasn't quite up to my supervisor's expectations, so he asked that I look into our potential savings if we were able to increase the size of the panels on our warehouse. Grand Valley Power limits solar systems to a maximum of 100 kilowatt hours, or 100 kilowatts, but members of the food bank staff wanted to bring a case to the utilities board seeking an exception for a larger system. Using a 200 kilowatt system to make my estimates, I determined that we could potentially save an additional $7,836 annually, representing a total savings of $16,500 each year. In total, the system would produce nearly 300,000 kilowatt hours of energy each year, preventing 467,000 pounds of CO2 from entering the atmosphere when operating to full capacity. Moving on to my hybrid vehicle project, Food Bank of the Rockies has 27 total vehicles in their fleet, ranging from semi-trucks to box trucks to SUVs for business travel. While they are looking to eventually update their entire fleet, a lot of the technology from larger vehicles or for larger vehicles isn't quite established enough to meet their needs, so they had me focus on the SUVs they have. I decided hybrids would be the best decision because they would reliably provide the range needed to get to their further distribution centers. I recommend a total of 4 options, 2 hybrid vehicles and 2 plug-in hybrid vehicles, and submitted the proposal for their consideration. Looking at savings opportunities, the greatest savings came with replacing the 2014 CRV with a 2023 RAV4 Prime. There were smaller savings compared to the newer vehicles they currently have, which makes sense because newer vehicles are more fuel efficient than the older ones, and thus you wouldn't be saving as much on gas by upgrading them. I also dug into the Food Bank of the Rockies' waste history for their Denver facility, and the numbers were encouraging. Looking at a 3-year span, their total waste and landfill waste decreased over this period, while single-stream diversion rates have gone up. Now the next step for Food Bank of the Rockies is to improve composting efforts, as they are still in the early stages of this program. Because a lot of my projects were analyses, I did not have many tangible outcomes outside of a better understanding of our current systems and the new projects we've implemented. The hybrid options I presented are under consideration by the operations department, and the proposed solar expansion was taken to the Grand Valley Power Board on the final day of my fellowship. I haven't been updated on the progress of that since my ending my time there, but I'm hoping they can get approval because the economic and environmental savings would be huge if they do. I'm really grateful I had the opportunity to work with the food bank this summer, and I feel like I really learned a lot about sustainability work in a business setting. Thank you to my supervisor, Brooke, and the rest of the food bank team for having me.